I'm Liz Schrump for the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with Mythbusting.com, the show. Just ahead, Tom Still busts a few myths about Wisconsin's startup world, and Aaron Olver, Director of University Research Park, talks about the progress of Wisconsin's oldest and largest tech park. And now, here's this week's Tech Metrics. These snapshots of key indicators in the Wisconsin economy were developed by the Wisconsin Technology Council for its policy reports. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
All businesses must labor to one degree or another under a certain amount of mythology. You've heard a few, such as, we're good friends and work well together, so let's form a partnership. Or, I'm a great cook, I should start a restaurant. The startup and scale-up worlds in Wisconsin are no different in most ways. Here's my attempt to dispel a few specific folklores. Myth number one, all entrepreneurial ventures are pretty much alike, so why isn't there a template for success to be followed by all trips? The main fallacy here is that not all startups are alike. Many are traditional mom and pop businesses that launch on Main Street and intend to succeed there, often without a huge amount of growth capital or employees. Similar in many ways are lifestyle businesses and social entrepreneurs. In the tech world, however, startups most often view themselves as gazelles, meaning they want to grow quickly and leap ahead of the competition, creating a lot of value and jobs along the way. Those are the trickiest to fund and grow, which brings me to myth number two. There isn't enough angel and venture capital in Wisconsin for the great emerging companies here. The best companies will find funding if they look hard enough, make the right pitch, and persuade investors they can get a strong return on their dollars. The November 4th and 5th Wisconsin Early Stage Symposium in Madison is a prime example of companies putting their best foot forward for investors who will hail not only from Wisconsin but well beyond. Wisconsin isn't California, Boston, or even Minnesota when it comes to venture capital, but recent statistics show the funding gap is closing. It's not easy raising money, but the climate is improving for companies that demonstrate market value. Myth number three, we're 50th in startups among the 50 states. So Wisconsin must be unfriendly to new companies. There are many reasons why Wisconsin will never be the startup capital of America: an aging demographic, a low immigration rate, and mature capital-intensive industries that don't lend themselves easily to startups. But is Wisconsin really 50th, as the Kauffman Foundation reported earlier this year? Other measures show Wisconsin does well creating certain types of startup companies and keeping them alive. The amount of support available to Wisconsin entrepreneurs today is head and shoulders above what existed 10 to 15 years ago. We're not top half, but we're probably not dead last either. Myth number four, all of the technical and management talent is clustered on the coast, and Wisconsin is basically a flyover state. There are more and more stories that counter that perception. Exact Sciences, Jamf Software, Nordic Consulting, Promega, and Epic are ready examples of companies that grew up here and found the talent they needed to grow. Myth number five, all state policymakers seem to care about is manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism, so why bother pursuing startups in information technology or the life sciences? State policymakers increasingly recognize that technology isn't just for geeks and scientists working in wet labs. It's embedded in every industry and will drive the continued success of Wisconsin's largest and most historic sectors. The launch of the Badger Fund of Funds, which includes the state as a limited investment partner, signals support for some of Wisconsin's startup sectors. Myths are sometimes meant to be busted. Wisconsin is steadily replacing fable with economic fact.
We're back with Aaron Olver, Director of University Research Park in Madison. Welcome, Aaron.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with some basic facts about the park. How big is it? How many companies are located there? And roughly how many people do they employ?
Well, over the last 30 years, the University Research Park's flagship campus has grown to about 125 companies spread over 260 acres or so, and today they're up to 3,800 employees or so. We also have two outposts, one down on campus and then one down on the East Washington corridor as well, with a few extra employees there.
The park has some expansion plans on the near horizon. What's the latest on URP2 and how does it reflect national industry trends?
Well, almost every research park in the country right now is trying to figure out how to manage suburban parks in an urban era. And what we're seeing nationally is that the places that really are successful are finding a way to blend the practicality of suburban office sites with some of the urban amenities that tech employees want to create these live, work, play environments that are active 24/7. So we're taking a look at how we can go to market at URP2, which is our new 200-acre greenfield site on the far west side of Madison, to attract companies that want a mix of being close to the workforce, perhaps close to Epic, close to their homes, but also to enjoy some of the amenities that we find in urban environments like coffee shops and restaurants and nearby apartments.
You've been in the director's role for a little more than a year. What's been your biggest on-the-job surprise?
Well, the thing that I love the most about the place, the thing that's delightful on a daily basis, is really seeing the great work that the companies are doing, whether it's Stratitech, figuring out a way to revolutionize burn and wound treatment, or Stemina inventing a blood-based test for autism. The companies at the research park are just doing incredible science. They're innovating, they're doing things that are going to change the world and create a lot of jobs for Madison workers, and that's delightful and gratifying and surprising in a new way every day.
Thanks, Aaron, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, The Show. The show is produced by the Wisconsin Technology Council and WisBusiness.com, and sponsored by UW-Milwaukee and Exact Sciences. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum of Talent But Executive Search. See you next time.